For decades, the NCAA drew a hard line: go pro, and your college career is over. That line is now collapsing. As NIL reshaped college sports and courts began treating athletes as market participants, the NCAA raised a new alarm. Allowing experienced professionals back into college basketball would create chaos. Their fear wasn't about money. It was about experience. This video breaks down why that argument exists, and why it's no longer working. What if the smartest financial move for a professional basketball player was going back to college? In the G League, a player like Charles Bediako earns roughly $45,000. That's the reality for G League professional basketball players. But at Alabama in 2026, a 7-foot rim protector with NBA experience is suddenly worth 10 times that in today's NIL era. This is the math behind the Bediako Rule, and why the NCAA fought it in court. Let's start with the numbers, because this story only makes sense once you see the numbers. In the G League, most players are on base contracts, around $45,000. No guarantees, no NIL collectives or boosters. In college basketball today, value isn't tied to minutes, it's tied to availability, experience, physical maturity, and reliability. A 7-footer who has experience defending NBA players immediately becomes a scarce asset collectives will pay for. That's how a former G League pro became a $350,000 to $500,000 college player, without scoring a single bucket. Charles Bediako did what the system told him to do. He went pro, took the two-way deal, chased development, but the pro path is unstable by design. One roster move, one coaching change, and your minutes can vanish. The issue isn't talent, it's leverage. In the G League, a player's strong performance doesn't reliably create more minutes or job security. A team's incentives are tied to roster control and NBA call-up logistics, not maximizing any single player's trajectory. So, Bediako challenged the assumption that going pro must permanently close the college door. And that's where the NCAA pushed back hard. If you were advising an elite recruit's family, and the decision was $45,000 as a pro, or $400,000 to go back to college, what would you recommend? Comment, pro, or college. In court, the NCAA didn't argue tradition. They argued disruption. Their claim, allowing seasoned professionals back into college creates chaos. Their stance is it pushes 18-year-olds out of scholarships and that older players would crowd out high school recruits. In other words, too much experience becomes a competitive advantage the NCAA can't regulate. But here's the problem with that argument. College sports are already based on who can gain advantages through coaching, infrastructure, NIL resources, and development environments. This NIL era didn't just bend the old model, it broke it. Courts no longer see college athletes as amateurs. They see them as market participants with economic rights. And once that door opened, banning a player for previous employment stopped being a rule, and started being a legal liability. Bediako may not only win reinstatement, he's revealing a structural flaw the NCAA can't easily repair without inviting more lawsuits. The result is a system that no longer only rewards age and talent. It rewards an athlete's experience too. Why the old college roadmap is dead? The NCAA is right about one thing. The veteran athlete is king. When experienced talent flows back into the college game, the traditional timeline shatters. Development is no longer a linear climb, it's a strategic evolution. Players aren't just trying to move up, they're moving with intent. The Charles Bediako case exposes a simple, uncomfortable truth. You cannot run $1 billion sports ecosystem on amateur-era assumptions. The moment NIL transformed players into market participants, experience stopped being a restricted commodity. It became an asset to be chased. This isn't just about one roster spot. This is about leverage. The programs that embrace this shift will own the next decade. Those clinging to the old ways will be left behind. And if you think the ripples stop at the collegiate level, think again. We are about to see elite high school prospects apply this same market logic to the top of the food chain. That's why our next deep dive is essential. AJ Debonsa isn't just a recruit, he's the blueprint.
NIL, fanatic,